welcome back to the Good Days Only podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Octavio, and today we are on episode number 5, bringing you good coffee, good vibes, and good music. Podcast for all, bringing you the honest caffeine breakdowns and reviews, sprinkling in some good news to add some positivity to your day during these stressful times. And last but not least, going to be rounding off the podcast with a little parting gift for y'all to help get you through the week. Let you know what I'll be bumping in my headphones this week. All right? And today's a special episode. If you've been tuned in on the social medias, you know by now that we are going to be doing a coffee giveaway. Whoa. So stay tuned and stay locked in for that. A little bit more on that in the good news section of today's show. Without further ado, though, let's get into the caffeine breakdown. And here are the 5 categories for the caffeine breakdown. Number 1 being the coffee name and roaster, the message and background behind the coffee masters here. Number 2, the appearance and packaging. Number 3, the roast type. Number 4, the brew style. And number 5, the coffee grind type. Gonna probably do number 4 and 5 together today. We'll see. Let's get into number 1. I'm excited and caffeinated. But today, we went to Bellingham. Shout out to the homies out there. Tony's Coffee Roasters. Bringing us premier coffee from Bellingham, Washington since 1971. Hey, I think that's the same as Starbucks. And still throwing it down with grade A caffeine. In the early years, they roasted in a coffee house, they say on their website, located in a street-level space in Fairhaven's historic terminal building. We filled glass jars with freshly roasted beans from Antigua, which I believe is in Guatemala, to Yirgacheffe, Ethiopia. Since 1971, man, these son of a guns, I mean, they've been at it for a while. They've outgrown the coffee house since then, but still constantly striving to develop the best flavors possible from their coffees. You can pick up some Tony's coffee at your local Safeway, the QFC, Target, I think, has them. Yeah, but if you're ever in Bellingham or around that area, swing by and give the homie Tony a visit, because, you know, no better way to get your caffeine than straight from the source. A little background story here from Tony's Coffee Roasters. We are the Northwest's original craft coffee roaster. For more than 45 years, we've been roasting in Bellingham, Washington, nestled along the waters of the Puget Sound, in the shadow of the North Cascades. Our work is inspired by the beauty of our surroundings. Wow. To ensure the quality in your cup and the sustainability of specialty coffee, we travel each year to collaborate with producers who combine experience with experimentation. That's pretty cool. Because a lot of times, you know, people that are older or more experienced in certain subjects are hesitant to change or to experiment. But with this, that's good to hear, you know, always trying to push that next level, experimentation. Let me get a little sip action here. Today, we got us a Café Carmelita. Organic, okay. Oh, cocoa and caramel notes. Full buttery body, they say. Unfortunately, I didn't find any information here about the type of beans. It's not on the bag or online. Also, don't know where these beans come from. So that's a strike there. All right, Tony's. I'm just gonna say it. I want to know where my beans are coming from. But my guess here is probably like Central South America because of the flavors of the coffee here and what we've learned from the other coffees we've tried on this journey so far. Let me get a little sip. But okay, right now let's get into the appearance and packaging. And dude, this bag is actually so dope. Something about it simple but elegant, kind of. I imagine this like a sophisticated librarian type of person, for the bag. If this bag was a person, it's a nice, the classic brown bag that we come across so frequently. This has, of course, Tony's Coffee label, and with a silhouette of a little elefante with his trunk extended all the way up in the air, dude, holding a branch of a coffee tree up in the sky. Pretty awesome. Kind of reminds me of that scene in The Lion King when all the animals are going wild, like the elephant's trunks up in the air. That baboon man was raising Simba at the top of Pride Rock. But so on the flip side here of the bag, still the brown bag, but here we have that same elephant with a coffee branch, but this one is colored in, so you can see the green leaves on the branch, and you can see the coffee cherries there. Pretty cool. I like this bag. It's still the flip over and that wire, so not sure that I get the best seal here, but it's always better to just transfer the beans into a airtight container if you have one. Also on the bag here, freshness reminder. It says use within 2 weeks of opening, store in an airtight container away from direct light. Perfect. Also says here, use water roughly 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 seconds off boil. So that's what we tried. But it also gives us a good ratio. Wow, Tony's Coffee thought of everything on the bag here. A good ratio to remember. 2 tablespoons grounds for every 6 ounces of water. Adjust based on the coffee and particular taste. Awesome. Let's get into the roast type for this coffee. And the one we got here is a medium roast. All right. Fresh bag, actually. I think this was bagged about a week and a half ago, getting it straight from the source. Usually if you go to with a large production, I feel like you get it in the store, where, they shipped it to the store, they shipped it however long the distance was, gigantic companies like Starbucks or Dunkin', who knows when that was bagged. They, after the shipping and the storage and all that stuff. But I think it's kind of like trying to compare this to if you go to this candy store, everybody got their local candy store. Shout out to Bright's Candy Store on Walla Walla. Imagine walking into your favorite local candy shop, getting some fresh taffy or fudge, taking that home and comparing it to some taffy or fudge that you got at Safeway or QFC. Probably not even close side by side. Not saying that those other mainstream candies and coffees ain't good sometimes, but it's just a different vibe, This brings us to numbers 4 and 5 here. We're going to do these together. The brew style and the coffee grind type going to be combined today. For this Carmelita here, we got a nice light medium brown, like a nice caramel, when pouring this one out. The aromas were nutty and chocolatey. After the fresh pour, it kind of smelled like if you had some dark chocolate in a grinder with some toasted almonds or something like that. But we got the French press, of course, and the pour over again. The coarse grind for that French press and a medium fine grind for that pour over. And this time, come on, we got some directions here. Gonna go with the 2 scoops per 6 ounces of H2O. I did 8 scoops for 24 ounces of H2O. And I did this because, who actually drinks just 6 ounces of coffee when they drink it? What are you, a mouse, dude? You got to be doing at minimum, I say, 8 ounces, all right, to have a good day. But I have built up a tolerance with the caffeine the average half-life, being about 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours. I think it's 5 hours. Stay caffeinated longer. Life hack, come on. I mean, if you consume, say, like 120 milligrams of caffeine at 6 a.m., that means around 11 a.m., still have about 60 milligrams of caffeine in my system, ready to go. Don't need a midday pick-me-up, no afternoon coffee, or you get all jittery and can't ever fall asleep. And then that's just a bad time. Let me get a little sip here. I wish I knew where the beans were from. Thanks, Tony's. That's all right. I think with the flavor, they made up for the lack of communication. Because I do like I can actually kind of taste that caramel, that medium to full body, like a little bit of chocolate hints in there. I really like this coffee. It's a solid medium roast. I wish, again, I would have known where the beans were coming from. But low acidity, pretty smooth. The flavor profile here is nice, and it's spot on with what Tony's Coffee Roasters had stated. They gave us a nice bag. I like the appearance. I like the message here. I like the little elephant. Again, wish I would have known where the beans were coming from. So for that one, I'm going to dock a point there. But I think a solid 8.5 out of 10, taking that other half a point because on the appearance and packaging, that seal for the coffee is not the best. It's the classic one that you see with most coffees, but not my favorite. Not compared to some of the other packagings or bags that we've had here on the show. So 8.5 minus 1 point for not telling us where you're getting your product, and minus 0.5 points for the little bit on that packaging, just making sure I got that seal. All right. What if I don't have an airtight container that I can transfer the beans into? Then I'm just out of luck, right? But anyways, that's good. That's it for the caffeine breakdown today. Let's move on to some good news. And dude, today is a great day, all right, for all of y'all. I'm really excited. We got something special coming up here. Again, if you've been tuned in on the social medias, on Instagram mainly, if you follow the GDO podcast on IG, you might already know. Today, officially announcing the first ever Good Days Only podcast coffee giveaway. Drum roll, please. That's right. It's giveaway time. Yeah. A chance for you to win some free caffeine. I'm going to be posting a picture on Instagram with the rules as well. But essentially, here's what's going to happen. You are going to have a chance to win 2. That's right. Not 1, but 2 bags of coffee. Isn't that some good news, dude? What? How can that be topped, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. It's not just any old 2 bags of coffee, but 2 bags of your choice, dude. That's right. You're going to have a chance to try 2 of the 5 coffees that we've reviewed on the podcast here and see what the hype is all about. You can keep them both for yourself or maybe share with a friend who shares the interest for coffee, the love for that warm, delicious refreshment. Refreshment? It wouldn't be a refreshment if it's a warm. Interesting. Poor choice of words there. But, how do you enter this drawing? You might be wondering, and it's quite simple, really. There's going to be that post on the GDO Podcast Instagram page. That's at GDO Podcast, where all you'll have to do is like the picture and tag 2 coffee-loving friends in the comments section below the picture. This will count as 1 submission. That's it. Dude, come on. How much easier can it get? But wait, there's more. If you send a direct message to the GDO podcast page with your favorite song from any of the artists that we featured on the Weekly Whistle, that will count as an extra submission to the hat. If you include a reason why that is your favorite song, this will be an additional entry into the drawing. That's a total of 3 possible submissions. So, each of these will increase your chance of winning some free bomb-ass coffee of your choice. All right? I want to have some interaction with you guys and know, what songs you're listening to, how your days are going. This drawing will be open for a whole week. All right, so submissions will close Friday, October 23rd. After closing, all submissions will be entered into a hat, and the winner will be chosen at random. I'll probably take a video of that, pulling the name out of the hat so the haters will not say it was staged. The winner will be contacted for the shipping logistics and all. And they will be announced next episode as well, unless they choose to stay anonymous. That's cool too. I respect that decision. But yes, I am excited for you, whoever you might be, to try these coffees that we have reviewed. All right, so let me get a little sip. All right, so let's just recap real quick. Get on the Instagram. Go to @GDO Podcast, like the picture that will be posted, tag 2 friends in the comments section, send a DM with your favorite song of any of the artists featured on the weekly whistle for a second submission, and add a little note as to why that's your favorite song for a third submission. I want to share this coffee because this is too dang good, man. Oh, man. All right, so that's it. That's some great news. But what else is going on in the world? Let's get into some more good stuff here, okay? Got this information here about the coffee mega giant Starbucks. I know we might not have been showing too much love to the Starbies in the past on the show, but posted in the Seattle Times this last week, they have publicly announced a new company goal to boost racial diversity amongst its workforce. Great news, CEO Kevin Johnson. He announced last Wednesday that by 2025, they want people of color represented in at least 30% of roles in corporate operations and 40% of retail and manufacturing roles, hoping to build bridges and create environments where all are welcome. Currently, 18.5% of its 43 top executives are people of color. On the retail operations side, people of color make up 23.5% of regional vice presidents, 27.1% of regional directors, and 34.9% of store managers. So they got a ways to go for the percentages to meet those goals. And don't think we forgot about the time you banned employees from wearing Black Lives Matter apparel, all right? Starbucks, we didn't forget about that. So we'll see how this goes, though. Exciting news, and I'm looking forward to hearing that there's a shift in that representation for all people of color out there, all right? In other news, dude, I know this is week-old news here, but since we mentioned it last episode, just wanted to bring it up. Laker Nation, congratulations to all those guys, that played a hell of a game last week to cap an insane playoff run in the bubble. 2020 was a crazy year, but the Lakers pulled out on top. All the fans, that have celebrated and will continue to celebrate. Great thing to celebrate. And, these days it's hard to find things to celebrate about. But let's look forward this week, actually. What are some things coming up this week worth celebrating? Monday, today, October 19th, is actually National New Friend Day. Hey, make some room for some new buddies in your life, Celebrate potential new friendships anywhere you might be. Add some more people to your support system. A solid group of friends is important, all right? That is important, people. So Monday today, that's awesome. Wednesday, October 23rd is International Day of the Nacho, dude. So all my nacho lovers out there, get ready to have yourself a little celebration. Let me share the story here, the background to the nacho, because I found it interesting, and also just a kind gesture, spreading the positivity, spreading some good vibes out there. The legendary nachos, as the tale goes, started back in 1943 with the one and only Ignacio Anaya. This was a gentleman that worked as a chef or some sort of employee at an establishment called Old Victory Club near Piedras Negras. That means black rocks, along the U.S.-Mexico border. As the story goes, there was a group of military wives out and about, looking for something to eat after a long day, something to grub on, but all the places in the area were closed. They came across this establishment, and although he did not have much, he threw something a little quick together with the ingredients that he could find. Fried up some tortillas, he cut them up into little maybe triangles, I don't know, maybe little rectangles, covered them with some queso, some cheese, and some jalapenos. Threw that in the oven, and bam, there it was. The rest is history. Called it the Nacho Special. Named after himself, since Nacho is often used as a nickname for Ignacio. So, get yourself some nachos, get yourself some ingredients, and whip that up for a good Wednesday night meal, hump day, middle of the week. Also on Wednesday, if maybe you're not a big fan of nachos or you cannot have them due to some food allergies or something like that, it is National Apple Day. You know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But hey, maybe you had too many nachos. Want to counter that with something a little more healthy. A nice fruit salad, with some of your favorite apples. Some Honeycrisp apples, some Cosmic Crisp apples, Fuji apples, dude. Red Delicious, dude. I don't like Red Delicious apples. Just going to say that here. They're not that delicious. They're just red. Yeah, they're red, but they're not delicious. They're too bland. I feel like, I don't know. Not my favorite apple, but definitely do enjoy me some Granny Smiths and some Honey Crisps. I like a little bit more tart in my apple. All right. Wow. Okay. So we had a lot of things happening on Wednesday. A lot of national recognition here. It is also National Medical Assistant Day. All right. So if you are, or if someone you know is a medical assistant, show them some love. Show yourself some love. MAs are an integral part to the healthcare system, assisting in a wide range of duties, calling patients, scheduling, dealing with insurance companies, all the behind the scenes, all the office work. They also do direct patient care, taking vitals, getting patient history information. Very important part in our healthcare system. So show them some appreciation. Let them know that, we're thankful for them being there. Thank you to all the medical assistants out there. To all the croc lovers out there. Yeah, you heard me right. Crocs is National Croc Day. All right. To round out the week, Friday the 23rd of October is going to be National Croc Day. Since they came out in 2002, there have been over 300 million pairs of Crocs sold. I mean, personally, not my favorite type of shoe. I mean, I guess they're cool. If I'm my 2-year-old baby niece, she looks cute in Crocs, but I don't know. I guess it's a comfort thing. I don't think I've really ever owned Crocs. I got some knockoff Crocs one time. I won't hate on the Crocs too much. But anyways, let's move forward. It's time for the weekly whistle. And today we will be traveling back in time, all right, experiencing some older tunes, oldies, some might call them. These are songs that, although you might not know who the artists are or when the song came out, for some reason, like 98% of the population has heard these songs, either like in movies or TV shows or just playing randomly at Super One Foods, or like when you're crossing the street, it's playing in somebody's car. They're just everywhere. Like for some reason, everybody knows these songs. And no, unfortunately, Mambo number 5 did not make this list. Not quite as old as these other ones here. Sorry, Lou Bega, but maybe a future episode will feature Lou Bega. But these songs are here in no particular order. Just looking through old songs that I've heard that I really like, that get stuck in my head, that I find myself whistling. It was fun looking these up and finding out a little bit more about the artists and their music. And we'll start off with number 1 here, and the inspiration for this week's weekly whistle, actually. By now, most of you have seen the video of 420 Dog Face, 420 Blaze It, online somewhere. The song here is Dreams by Fleetwood motherfucking Mac, off the album Rumors. This song came out in 1977, hit number 1 in June of that year, and again, making a comeback here in 2020. Over 40 years later, dude, that's crazy. As of the last Hot 100 rankings, the Billboard, it landed at number 21, thanks to Dogface, whose real name is Nathan Apodaca. What a blessing this man has been to this world in these dark times right now. You know, just a little beacon of light in the darkness. In that video where he's just skating along with no worries in the world, drinking some cranberry juice, man. This song Dreams, though, is just one of those timeless classics, I feel like. You know, the sounds, I feel, were just very ahead of the time. Like, if I heard this song now, never knowing who Fleetwood Mac was, I would probably think that this is a new artist or like a new song that just came out. There's just certain songs that, you know, have that sound and that impact. Other songs don't quite have that. You know, they get lost in time. Because, dude, think about all the millions of songs that have been put out there since, you know, the 60s or before that. And you know, this song, like songs like this are still great after all this time. And other songs, I mean, they're still great, but you can tell that they're old timey. You feel like this next one, number 2, My Girl by the motherfucking Temptations. Woo! I love this song. You know, I was like in 6th grade and had my like first crush and just would play this in my headphones on my CD, man. First off, what a great name for a group, The Temptations. This song was their first number 1 hit, now their staple song. It was number 1 in March of 1965, and still to this day, you hear that bass guitar, dude, boom, 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 and you know, dude, you're ready. Like, we know that those first little notes, I've got sunshine, you know, but they also have other hits, you know, none as big as the one, but an honorable mention here, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. Damn, I whistle this song at least once a month for like no reason. It'll just randomly pop into my head and I just can't get it out. It's awesome. Also happens with this next song, number 3, Stand By Me by Ben E. motherfucking Kane. You know, we all know this one too. The initial intro, the first lyrics, when the night has come. Dude, I mean, come on. Oh my gosh, all these classics. This came out in 1961, and later John Lennon actually had his own cover and his own version of this song, which I didn't know until looking into this. Cool. I mean, I listened to it. Still not as good as the original, in my opinion. Usually not a fan of covers of songs by other artists, but for this song. Actually, Prince Royce has a version of this song where, you know, a little bilingual action, a little bit more upbeat with the bachata style. But right now, no bachata, no nothing really, because number 4 is Ain't No Sunshine by Bill motherfucking Withers. Okay, I'll stop with the motherfuckings. I know, that's a lot. I know. Bill Withers. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Came out in 1971, climbed up the charts as well, not quite to the number 1 spot, but got up to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 that year. Song was also covered, by a very successful young Michael Jackson at the age of just 13. Who knew that? I found that one out. That was new news to me. That's pretty cool. Let me take a little sip here. At the age of 13, man, Michael Jackson was out here, and that's a pretty good song too, that cover. Number 5, Be My Baby by the Ronettes. This trio, made up of the talented young ladies Taylor, Spector, and Bennett. Those were their names. That's what I saw there online. But they put this song out in August 1963. This one peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. One of those ones I think our mom would like listen to it when we were children. Maybe like on the oldies radio station or something. But she used to love this song. So I don't know. I just remember that fond memories, you know. Number 6, Ain't No Mountain High by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. This song was written in 1966 by Nicholas Ashford and Valerie Simpson, and made widely famous when recorded by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Peaked at number 19 on the Billboard Pop charts and went to number 3 on the R&B charts. This song also featured in what's the movie? Remember the Titans, where they're in that locker room scene. I remember watching that when I was a kid, not knowing who Marvin Gaye was, listening to that song later, and just really appreciating the song. It's a great song. It's kind of funny looking back at these songs and the stats for what it was back in the days, because I mean, some of these were not as hot back in the day as I thought that they might be. Like this one in particular. Like it didn't even make it to number 1. That's interesting. Number 7, Do You Believe in Magic? The Loving Spoonful. I think we all know this one. Also on American Pie, if you've seen that movie, is that song that they're singing in the choir because that guy's trying to get with that girl. That's a funny movie. But this song came out in 1969, peaked at number 9, just broke the top 10, so still worth mentioning there, I think. And number 8, Rich Girl, Hall and Oates. You're a rich girl and it's gone too far. This one's funny because I like the song because I always thought it said you're a bitch girl, and found out actually recently that it is not what it says. It says you're a rich girl the entire song. So I was just singing it wrong my whole life. But this one came out in 1977. Still a great song. I like the version I imagined in my head a little bit more. And going on to last but not least, number 9. We're doing 9 of these today because 9 is my favorite number. You know, and it's too hard. I mean, we could keep going through the list. There's so many songs, and I know I'm missing some, but these were all ones that just kind of came to me that I thought of when I thought like oldies. These were like some of the ones that came to mind. But number 9, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Otis Redding. This song recorded twice in 1967. The second time it was recorded was actually just a couple days before he died in a plane crash. The song later came out in 1968. A factoid here, there's whistling at the end of this song. there was supposed to be more lyrics, but Otis Redding had forgotten the lyrics he wanted to sing while he was recording, so he just whistled the melody. And unfortunately, he was a victim of that plane crash and was not able to record the end of the song as he envisioned. But later, when releasing the song, his guitarist and co-writer Steve Cropper included the whistling in that final recording. This song made it to the top of the charts as well. After his death, number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the U.S. Hot Rhythm and Blues singles, number 3 UK singles chart, number 3 in South Africa. It's sad when you hear about accidents like that. That's just like nobody's fault. It's just an accident. Another person, Richie Valens too. Oh, I didn't even put any Richie Valens on here, but he was a victim of a plane crash as well. He was only like 18 or 19 or something like that, and his career was just taken off, and no fault of his own. Just sad. But man, I'm on an oldies kick right now. Sorry to dampen the mood there, but I'm gonna be listening to these songs and more throughout this week. I hope you enjoyed the weekly whistle, the caffeine we broke down today, and keep an eye out for that post on the GDO podcast page. Again, I want to mention, none of these places are paying me or sponsoring this show. IG ain't giving me no cash for this giveaway or none of that. So just doing this here again for the journey, the learning process, learning new things. And for all of y'all, thank you. All of you that have tuned in and listened, again, hit me up on the GDO podcast page on Instagram, or gdopodcast@gmail.com. Share some good news you might come across, coffees you think we should break down and look at, or that we should try on here. Let's keep the good times rolling. All right. Until next time. Peace.